Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Market Inspection, 23rd of February, 2025. So, in this video, I just want to go briefly through LTC, BTC, and Ethereum, perhaps ADA as well. But I'm just going to remove a lot of this stuff for you guys so I can explain it first. Okay, now basically, price has been looking good here on LTC, right, since 9th of February. We've been in this range, as you see. It's a clear range, and I've drawn my range from this low to this high. Okay, now a lot of people would have probably drawn their range from this high to this low, or maybe this high to this low. Alright, it still works, but not all ranges are the same, and yeah, you just gotta make it fit your system. Now, why did I exactly pick this as my range high and not this? Well, as you see, when you have made a range, right, it comes from a kind of like an impulsive move, right? And then it starts ranging. Then you got your range high and your range low. In this instance, right, we had this push to the upside here, up to here, from here, and then price started having a pullback, and then we actually made a daily SFP, a swing failure pattern on this daily week here. We closed back below, and we didn't have a single daily closes above 139.62, 139.6 level. Okay, so we have established our range. Now, let's dig a little deeper. And first of all, let's look at the daily stock. The daily stock, right, moved from the range low, right? From the range low, we were oscillating at the lows, and we had the momentum to the upside. And if you traded long here, it worked, okay? You probably caught a lot of profits. I did myself. But as you see now, price has been trading at the range high, right? Didn't sweep this high, but still has tapped the range high. And then the oscillators are kind of like making a lower high, and it looks like we're having the momentum right now to the downside, right? In confluence with BTC being weak here at the moment. So I would prefer uh, actually fading this, right? Shorting this level as we are in the range high. We're just playing the range. Look for shorts here, look for longs down here. And since we are on this level, I want to look for shorts. Now, moving on, let's go on the H4. So as you see, I've drawn this H4 order block right here. I took it out from this. It's a clear order block. Um, Now, what's interesting here, right? You want to look at the market structure. So, price was moving like so, right? Clear uptrend, right? And then we made a higher low here, and we actually did sweep this high here barely. If you zoom in, we did actually take out some liquidity here. But what did the body candles do here on the H4? Shit. Um, well, price actually had one, two, three, four, even five. We can five, four H4 closes below this body closes up here, right? So kind of if you're looking at it from this perspective, right? Price was moving up, but we made a lower high. So looks like the market structure is kind of shifting here, right? So how do I want to trade this? Well, this is a range in itself, right? We got your range low down here. Let me draw this. What color should we use here? Let's use red, okay? And then range high. And price actually, as you see here, I'll zoom in for you. What did price do? We took out this liquidity above here, okay? Now, and then price closed below. So, swing failure, right? We didn't break out of the range, but price did sweep the range high, and we did break structure here to the downside, okay, right? We're moving like this, lower high, right? So what we would like to get in on the next lower high, right, from the lower low, and we do have well, in this range, right? We have been at the range high, right? This was our range high. We moved lower, and then we took out the range high. So that was our test of the range high, and now we're trading lower. So there is sell side liquidity below here. as prices in the weekend. People are longing here. They have their stops below here. But not only that, we have something I'll get back to in a little. But price has been at the range high, and now we're moving towards the range low. Okay. Now, what would I look for in a setup here? Well, it's very simple. Since we have this H4 order block, which is our H4, like it's our well, we can type supply instead, right? It's supply. So this is resistance. I simply would look for a lower high somewhere in this region, right? Trade it down towards our local low, right? This range low slash the high time frame mid level. Why is this also a good level? Well, you do have somewhat of equal lows here, right? Let's do this in yellow. Let's put it as a dollar sign. I like people like doing that. Zeros. Put it like this, right? There's liquidity below here. Look, if you zoom out, right? So maybe we do take out this, and then we see what happens. But this is kind of in confluence with BTC, which I'll get back to in a minute. But this is a potential short that I'm looking for. Yep. And it would look something like this. Let's say if we place a limit here, you can have manual stops above here. If you target, maybe this could be our target, right? In this week, since the daily is moving towards the downside, right? So we might go a bit more down here, right? I'm not going to take my OTE from this fib, from this low, as this is our more relevant uke. Excuse me. But what would I look for, right? It would be something like this. It's a little messy right now, but bear with me. Hello. Okay, so something like this, right? If we do get a fill here, we're able to hold, close back below. You can add perhaps, but this will be trigger. Put your stops above here, and you can take out this liquidity here. You can take most of your 80% TP. Maybe it goes up, and then you can take the rest down here, which would be confluent perhaps if you call this an order block level. But yeah, you have your 0.62, 0.705, 0.79. So this area potential higher time frame, higher low if you're looking at it from the daily perspective. If you are like price took out this high, so if you are moving like this and then move higher, right? So that's kind of my idea slash setup I'm looking for this coming week. And until proven wrong, I think we actually do tweak this low, as I'm bearish on BTC as well. But if we do flip above here, we hold. That would also be a potential trigger, but I'm not going to talk too much about that in this video, as it is a little more further into the future, and this is more my type of setup. So yeah, it's looking like, let me remove some of this. I had it a bit cleaner here. Yeah, so as you see, price failed to make body close above, made lower high. Okay, uh, liquidity below here, and this will look like a potential setup, right? So that's my thought idea for our setup idea for this coming week from for Litecoin. Now let's head over to BTC. As you guys see, I'm using the dark chart here. I do switch back and forth between white and dark, but at the moment I'm liking these dark colors. Let's start on the weekly here. The weekly stocks almost at its lows, right? As you see, we're starting to oscillate at the lows, and a potential good long trigger might come here in the next like one to 3 weeks. Okay, but how's the daily looking? Well, the daily is very choppy here. It's very unpredictable. We can move down, we can move up, so it's more in no man's land, which makes sense because price is literally in no man's land, right? It's in the middle of the range. Um, so yeah, let's look here now. Let's put on our things here. So there was this range, right? You have the previous weekly high. Let's put this in white. you got the previous weekly low. So this was kind of the range I'm looking at the moment. All right. So what did price do? Right? There was liquidity above here. The price swing failure pattern. Swing failured the previous weekly high. Right? We can call this the local high, and we engulfed the daily candle below it. If you look in the H4, I actually did caught a short. I tried to long on the lower time frame here. I thought we were gonna break higher, so I longed, but I cut my long pretty quickly, and then I flipped short because I'm a trader, so I must be able to adapt to what the market is offering me, and that's exactly what I did. Price actually did swing failure this and closed actually below. It engulfed this H4 candle too, which was very nice. So it was a good short. But what did price do here, right? We took a lot of liquidity to the downside. This was kind of the Ethereum Bybit hacker dump, as I like calling it. But price created this, right? You have this H4 supply right here. So what I do hope we get, even though it looks like price is dumping a bit more here at the moment, what I do hope we get is a potential right, a potential retest in this area. Right, this is where I would like to short because when you trade the range, right, it's ugly. All right, you have the deviation, right, which we had here. You kind of have a retest, but where's the retest here? We didn't really have a retest. A retest can happen way um like further on, right? Which might be what we might get in this instance, right? If you look in the lower time frame, you could call this your sell side liquidity, no, buy side liquidity. Maybe we sweep this high into this, in coming into the weekly open, right? I want to catch like perhaps the weekly top wick before we trade lower. I do believe we move lower from here, just a little bit more, but anything can happen, of course. But I am looking for a potential short here on BTC in Confluence. If you see that, if you push up into this level, right, that would make Litecoin probably push up to this level as well, which is what I'm looking for. Um, so yeah, dailies are like this. 12 hours on the way to its downside. Yeah, so maybe we do see the H4 move a little down here. Maybe sweeps this, go up, and then we move down, right? So maybe we range for a bit more. But overall, I am very much interested in seeing price reaction if we do get into this supply. If I see weakness on the lower time frame, that would be my trigger to short. Put my stop below here. I'll look to target range, uh, the range low at 94k. Take most of my profits there. Price is still showing weakness. I would like to take out this low right here, which is the main buy side liquidity in my opinion, before we might move for a new all-time high. But so that's kind of what I'm looking for. But at the same time, there is a potential or a possibility, in my opinion, that we do sweep this inefficiency here, which I most likely think will happen before we move higher. Of course, this is a possibility too, but on a lower like scale, this would be the A plus setup to dump all the way down here. If you really want to see price make its way up to the 110 to 150k level, like really much higher than what price is currently at, right? So somewhere in this level. So that's my thoughts on BTC. Looking for a potential short of the mid level, which has proved resistance. And this would be our potential a lower high short. Take out this low, and then we'll see what happens from there. Now let's head over to Ethereum. So Ethereum is actually at 2,800 right now. So that's great. So let's go on the higher time frame here. So the weekly is at its lows, right? But might oscillate a bit more here in confluence with the BTC is not completely at its lows on the weekly stock. But the weekly candles look good here. We close in green or in blue here on my chart, but yeah, in green. Close bullish on the 2 weekly candles here. We're gonna probably close, or we will close green this weekly close that we get today as well. So that is a potential possibility that we make our way back to the mid level, which is huge resistance. But we haven't had in these 3 weeks not a single weekly closure below the lower quarter mid range, right? Mid range between the high time frame mid level and the range low. You got the quarter mid range here. And if you look on the daily as well, it has respected this level extremely well. Not a single daily closure below this level. Okay, so that's great. Let's move lower. Um, so as you see, your price has equal lows, no equal highs, right here, which are probably gonna get swept really, really soon in the start of the week. So I think we'd see some sort of deviation, and then if let me actually draw a better range here. Yeah, let's do it from. I like this. I like this. From here to here, let's do our OTE. Oh, FIBO range there. You remove the 0.5 level. So this is kind of our range here. Um, so if price does sweep, right, you have one high, two highs, three highs, right? It's a ton of liquidity resting above here. So I do think we push up here, but if I see like there's some inefficiency here, so I don't have the best read here on Ethereum actually. Um, right, you kind of have this resistance level here, this entire level here, but I do think we see like yeah, exactly right. The daily stocks at the highs, so we might spend a little more time here before we start rolling over. But once we start rolling over, I'll look for shorts on Ethereum definitely. I do think I have a thesis that we will, since we have respected this whole range so good, right? Why not make our way down to these equal lows here and sweep the 2093 level, right? I do think we go sub 2K actually. That's how bearish I am at the moment. But yeah, simple trigger for me here. Very, very simple range wise. This is our potential sweep of this high too. But what I would prefer, price maybe deviates this level. If I see price makes its way back below the range high, that would be my short trigger. I would put my stop below, stop above here, and I'll look to target the range low, right? So target the low here. So it would better to be waiting on true confirmations here, right? You never know what price is going to do, but if you do wait, you could even look at a 2.75 hour trade, which is just amazing, right? Very good risk to reward, and yeah, it's a simple range, right? It's a simple range. Anything in here, no man's land, don't trade it. Wait for your extremities. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. To be swept. All right, deviation gets back below the range high. I'll look to short. Take out these lows here. If not, sweep more of this whole inefficiency wick down. So yeah, and then I have another setup which is in Confluent with the price in the start of the week going higher before going lower. It's that we got 88. So as you see, it's pretty simple what I've drawn here. Let me just remove this for now. As you see on the daily, okay. All right, we have this high time frame range. I can draw your range high there, but price has been rejecting from the range low. and there's actually 2.3 billion in liquidations above here. So uh, you can check for yourself on the heat map. I think it's 2.28 billion to be more specific, but A tier setup here would be a sweep of this liquidity back inside the range. I'll look to short on the retest. TP1, TP2, send this fucker maybe down to 30 cents. Um, that's what I do believe will happen if equities also roll over after making this all-time high. And yes, so what more did I have to show here? Yeah, you have a ton of like resistance level here. Previous weekly high, Monday high, previous quarter made, quarterly open, yearly open, right? We might go into the previous monthly open on a deviation here, maybe the yearly open gets back below. As a short trigger, put your stop above the yearly open. You're looking at a really high risk to reward as well. If we do sweep this liquidity and we clearly get back below, look, I'll show you better. If we sweep, super simple, right? You have this range here. Fuck, I can't draw. Oh my god. This, right? Gets back below the range high after a deviation. That's a fucking short, right? And you want to take out this low, all this inefficiency here, take out the range low, right? You have like a range inside of a bigger range, and the mid-level fits. Like this is very nice. It does look like price is kind of rolling over here, but I do believe that we still maybe do something like this, which would be the A tier setup. Why would it be a tier setup? Well, if you also use a thing called Ichimoku Kinko Hue, this would be a great setup because you have the TK cross, right? The Kijun the yellow and the Tenkan-sen the blue. They cross, and once the yellow is above the blue one, it's bearish, and then you have the Kumo. The Kumo is the cloud, and when the cloud is gray, right, it means we are in a uh, what could you call it? A negative trend line. Um, that's exactly what we have here, right? Price has been rejecting, well, hasn't even tapped the Kijun, and usually it can tap into it, but you don't want to see it get flipped, right? But since there's a lot of liquidity above these equal highs here, what I would like to see is a potential tap of the Kijun, the yellow line, in confluence that we also have bearish here, and then the Chiku span, which is the lagging span, which is back 30 periods from price. This is also below where price was 30 periods ago, and this is a on the daily time frame a bearish signal. And Ichimoku is a great tool to use because it helps you catch 80% of the trend. And since price is not, since the Chico span is not inside of price but actually below price, where price was 30 periods ago, it means we are currently looking at a potential downtrend here. um, yeah, so that's how it looks on the daily. So that's kind of my thought process for this coming week. I want to see a little sweep of this liquidity above here, a little pump in the start of the week on probably all the pairs before potentially heading uh, lower. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process. What I'm looking at, short here, BTC, no, Ethereum, sweep the high, get back inside, short this fucker down to here, 2.3R, maybe even lower. Fuck it, get a 6R setup. And you got LTC, which I'm looking for price to come into here. I'll add like one third size. If I see more acceptance below lower time frame, I'll add. I'll put my manual stops above here, and I'll look to target this low. If not, even put my stops above the hit for supply with manual stops, and then yeah, take it from there. Take out this liquidity below here, and perhaps even this go down to this whole SR level that you have in this region. And then, yeah, as I said, ADA, looking for a sweep of this, send this fucker lower for now. But could always flip and go higher, right? So wait for your confirmations, and I'll catch you guys perhaps in the near end of next week. I'm not gonna upload daily videos anymore, but I'm kind of gonna just post some setups, and then we'll see what happens, and I'll make some continuation videos and see how the setups went. And yeah, careful on leverage. Take care, and good luck trading.